Oh my God. Hello, welcome to Aural Hygiene. It is the podcast where we talk about educational films, experimental caught films, and interesting documentaries. This is Matt here, giving me a
This is
thumbs up.
Andrew.
A flash of a thumbs up is Andrew with a
This is
flash.
Andrew here.
And today it's time to start quacking.
Yeah, where'd you find this, man? This movie.
I started, I find these interesting caches. How do you say that? Cache, cache. Yeah, of interesting films. So this one, I would definitely. I think I even sent you the link. Is a Real Black, like REEL, and it just
Yes.
has like phenomenal stuff on it.
Yeah, no, it does. And I didn't so this is from 76, 73, 76.
Mid
Quack.
70s. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's an experiment. It's not just a student film, but an experimental student film. So that's two.
I think
And
most student films are experimental when you get right down to it, though.
yeah, and it's but it like triples down on stuff because it's a documentary that never actually occurs. It's made by a filmmaker that's not one of the directors of the movie, and a lot of it takes place in her dreams.
Right.
So there's a truckload for you.
Yeah, it's somebody subconscious is going on.
I like the concept. It was a good concept.
I did make my my first note just to mention the Donald Duck pants, which is I think Luke explained that to me, is when someone is, usually a woman, but it could be a man, is simply wearing somewhat tight pants that's almost the same color as your skin.
Yeah, it might as well be like no pants at all.
Right, exactly. Hence,
Yeah, you're like, should someone tell them? Did someone tell them and they don't care? Do they want someone to tell them?
And then last week I saw someone wearing a full-on Donald Duck dress.
Oh, cool. No, that's next level.
Yeah, it was, I guess. So
there's also the people saying they have been porky pigging, which means they are wearing a shirt and no pants or underwear.
Okay. Oh, right. Because you got the tail. Okay, except the tail's on the wrong side. So, what's happening? Sorry, my mic went all funky for a second. Yeah, we start off this film with horrible sound effects and like a hardcore hippie. Lots of hippies in this movie. The 70s variety, I guess.
Yeah, the audio for this, I have to admit, I muted because it begins making this like, I don't know if they're smacking their food or supposed to be sounding like they're kissing someone, but it was really obnoxious. Like, are you one of these people that doesn't like it when someone's chewing with their mouth open, or smacking their food? Or...
Although, in Japan, you're allowed to slurp your noodles. If you're supposed to slurp your noodles.
Yeah, no, that's not what was happening there.
No,
it
was a
just
different
really
sound here.
It was like if ASMR were intended to make you vomit. That's what it sounded like.
But after that, there are some bitchin' analog synths on the soundtrack, so that's kind of fun.
They're awesome.
A little bit of weird psychedelic imagery here and there. I was wondering if we were about to take a left turn to Psych by the 40 Witch or something.
It could have gone there. I mean, there are moments that I feel like it approaches that.
Right. So I think, yeah, the audio when I was watching, I felt like my audio was a little out of sync, which is just a peril of this particular trade, I guess. But
yeah, no, it was out of sync for me too. And it's an experimental film, so so we know that's
supposed
not the
to be that.
It.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
No, it's hard to imagine that they would have gotten any kind of grade for having out of sync sound.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what grade this film would have gotten then.
I don't know. And not to skip ahead too much, but there's a part where Althea Bacon, who is the filmmaker in I'm going to call Quack an anti-film. I think it checks most of the boxes for being an anti-film. Because it's a good 10 minutes before you even get to the fact that she's the director and that they're making a documentary film. That's the whole point of the movie, is that she just can't get a leg up. But yeah, she's actually talking to and it's supposed to look like an outtake where they can't get the lighting right. She's like, "It's too dark. Now it's too bright." You hear the director of the film within a film's voice, and you hear her say, "You're not going to get a good grade if you don't stop messing this up." She says to one of the crew guys who's on, seen on camera.
That was put in so when it was scored, I mean graded or whatever, that he'd be like, "Oh, I can't actually give it a bad grade because they already called me out on it."
I know. I did have that thought a few times during this. Like, is this a cop out or is this creative?
It is quite a bit. Just, I mean, usually when you see 70s films, it's like blaxploitation, which this is again anti-film. Is completely different then, because I'm thinking about the not the studio stuff, but the stuff where like like the people in a community were actually putting up the money.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a an independent production like that, and the movie does actually address racism. As a matter of fact, I think the whole thing of Althea Bacon's and her character, which I'm going to assume this is not the person's real name. She deals with white men who are constantly, well, when she's introduced, the white guy playing the piano actually calls her a racial slur and in a French accent. But yeah, at every turn when she's trying to talk about what she wants to do with the film, it's a cut in of a white film student or just some rando white guy talking over her or dubbed over what she's trying to say. So even now, I think this kind of tracks,
Yeah, I wrote down the quote, "You're black, so I've got to be white," which I'm not sure that logic holds, but whatever.
No, no, but he was doing the whole like the myth of reverse racism and things like that. He calls her sexist at one point. Like,
I guess the image that holds the most is the window from the dream room. The window from the dream room. Now you're talking about an experimental film.
Window for the dream room coming soon. No, when she walks into this room, the doorway is chainsawed into a 5-sided doorway.
Yeah, that was the best door ever. I want that.
Yeah, it was actually. I was like, okay, so when it shows her going to sleep, is she waking up? That's the benefit of having a character that falls asleep in the movie, is that you can be like, oh, that didn't really happen.
Like 3 or 4 times. This is like Inception level.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But well, I guess not except for that Scrooge McDuck cartoon. Like they didn't really do much of that beforehand in the movie. So
yes, but
ground.
You were bringing up the window. She's got this panel in her wall, and she's filled with doubt about her abilities to make movies. She's filled with doubt as to whether or not she's doing the right thing. She's struggling with that kind of stuff, but she then appears to be struggling with, like, say the white men in the dream were harassing her, or the white men in real life were harassing her, and she is dreaming. She opens this panel in the window. There's a panel on the wall. There's a window there, and all these zombies, who are all these white dudes, are like, ah. I mean, that was very unexpected imagery. What'd you think? I mean, that was crazy, right?
Oh yeah. I guess that was more or less the money shot of this film. Because
yeah, you don't get there's odd moments like the spaceship stuff and all of that, but you don't get the sense that you're going to see anything that's kind of like horrifying until you do.
I'm just thinking from all the stuff we're saying, it's like, yeah, you kind of this is one maybe you do have to watch. It's just so ridiculously all over the place. It's like, yeah, part of the spaceships, man.
Well, there's some people who say like, well, we don't want messages, especially like socio-political, to be like really on the nose. We just want to see a movie. But on this side of the spectrum, it's like, okay, I don't know what they're communicating because it's too obtuse, too abstract, I guess would be a better term.
Unless you're into dancing, they had a nice long Quack dance for everyone.
Yeah, I loved her dancing, and I also loved when she's got prying her eyes open and you're seeing the whites of her eyes for the most part. I mean, I came away, I don't know about you, I came away like thinking that Althea Bacon, I'd really like to hang out with Althea Bacon.
Yeah.
She seemed cool.
Yeah, there's a good charm factor here, I guess. What was it? Oh no, it's you can, if you have a great director, you can have a bad actor. Although she's pretty good in this one, so that's the opposite of what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, and I'm guessing one of the guys ends up on camera. They're either fellow film students or it's directed by two men. So I assumed at some point one of them just shows up on camera. But she's really really likable. I mean, she's great. Like I was not expecting to walk away from this going like, "Hey, I really like the actor."
Well,
You know,
she's very much the thing that sticks in the mind of this movie, other than the zombie window.
yeah, she's on screen for most of the whole time. I mean, it's definitely a movie about her, even if it's not. I don't know to what degree she was involved in creating it, other than doing the performance.
But yeah, I made the note. The pacing here is also a little bit like your space boobs and space movie, where we start having interviews about the movie halfway into the movie.
Yeah, yeah. No, I wanted it to be kind of a you don't know what you're going to see next kind of an atmosphere, and hell, everything I do is an experiment.
You mean just in film or everything?
Well, I mean, yeah, like well, definitely in a creative sense. You know, I don't feel like I know what I'm doing, and so I like I think of our old movies, the way we were at the beginning, and how I sometimes wish I didn't know as much as I do, because I feel like something's really lost over time when you become better at something than you once were.
Yeah, well, I guess you learn it, then you unlearn it, so you're just not, it's in the back of your head, but it's not like actively being used.
Yeah, but I more so in another movie that we're going to talk about than this one, but it's still like I'd be comfortable calling us experimental artists, experimental filmmakers or
I was just
whatnot.
wondering if you were being experimental at the McDonald's or something, you know.
More so at like places where you have a lot of ingredients for either ice cream topping or milkshake ingredient.
Ah,
That's where I like to kind of do that's an area where I would consider that.
I'm into the ice cream store experimentation. That sounds like a shitty jam band.
It does, man. The ice cream store experiment, the shoestring experiment, the
Uh,
everything experiment.
I'm still pissed to the ice cream store. I don't know if you were at that gig or not. It was at the Star Bar in Atlanta, I think, and we ended up going on like 1:30 or 2 in the morning because some guy was late from the ice cream store. Like he worked at the ice cream store and he was late. And then the second band used the same equipment, so they couldn't take it down, I guess. And we ended up going on at 1:30 in the
Oh,
morning,
they must
which
have hated you for some reason.
yeah. Oh no, it's
Like,
like yeah, they were waiting for because they had stage was already set and sound checked, and yeah, we had to wait for the drummer to show up or something from the other band.
that's poor management, poor floor management.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I, yeah, no, absolutely not. They must have hated you.
yeah. Probably
This-
when we finally went on, we just started playing lounge music for 5 minutes.
Did you only get 5 minutes?
No, no, we got a full set. We just cleared the room first with lounge music.
Okay. I don't want nobody here when I start my rock and roll.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone was pissed off, right? That's real rock and roll.
Speaking of Althea Bacon, I would definitely want to see if she wanted to be the front of a band or something. The Althea Bacon experiment.
What would that be? That wouldn't be a jam band.
No,
But
it
with the
wouldn't.
experiment, we've now taken it out of like a good
Yeah.
funk band or something. So
Nah, it would be art rock.
post punk, yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially with the dancing and all of that. So
Oh, they
um
gotta have the dancing in there, and then now there would be no good way to get that window in. But
no, you let fans go like to the alongside the stage, and then they can open the window and people are just in there like "Arr!"
that would be great. Of course, one person in the band is responsible for making that awful smacking noise at the beginning of the movie. It's like between songs instead of banter. It's
Yeah. Did you ever come across the in Athens the like 20 years ago, the Olivia Tremor Control's Dream Booth?
um I saw them play, but I don't think that was a component when I did.
Okay. It was like 97, 98. I think they didn't do it later on, but I went to one of their earlier shows where he had in the 40 watt, they set up, it was almost like a little photo booth, right? Except it looked all trippy. And you went in there and you were supposed to hit record and describe your dream.
That's actually awesome.
But I think they used a bunch of those recordings for a like kind of an ambient album.
Oh, you're probably on it then, huh?
I don't know. I think I went in the dream booth after that album had already come out, so I wouldn't be on it unless they were time travelers.
I mean, it's the dream booth, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I already knew what it was when I saw it because that album had already come out. But
yeah, another Matt Comegys exists because one of you went into the dream booth, thus creating the other.
Oh, okay. I found a few online. There seems to be a golfer with my name, and like a firefighter.
Yeah, I mean, one of them.
I guess your name, you'd find more. Yeah, you'd find more hits on your name. I guess a little. I guess it's not the most common last name, but somewhat.
There's a footballer. You know, it's just about when you type my name into Google, who comes up, and I think there are two more famous Andrews Shearers.
There we go. So yeah, I think the golfer guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm gaining back by putting out insane amounts of content, but
you are, man. I mean,
yeah.
I bet those people haven't seen Quack.
No.
Starring Althea Bacon.
I wonder how many people actually have like seen a film like this. I mean, we can't really judge from the number of views on YouTube because there was all the years before YouTube, but there must have been a good 20-year period where like nobody saw it.
Well, yeah, I thought that immediately when I was watching it. I saw it was a student film. It's like, well, it's possible that the people that originally saw it in the class were the only people to see it, you know, and someone uploaded it to YouTube. And it's possible that none of the people involved, some of them maybe even have died before ever seeing it again, you know. But I do hold out hope that Althea Bacon is out there somewhere and that she will emerge as a result of this podcast that mentions her name 6 or 7 times.
If that is her real name.
Yeah.
We're not 100% sure on that.
No, she's probably a CEO or something like that. And, you know, if anyone mentions Althea Bacon to her, there'll be, there's a trapdoor that she presses a button and yeah, they go to the sex pokey.
The what?
That your nipples will be flayed from your body.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was sitting there thinking about what laser guided creatures could be under the trapdoor.
Oh, laser guided creatures.
Well, they got the sharks and Austin Powers. So
yeah, no, this will be lasers with freaking sharks on their heads.
Yeah, that just go for the nipples. That's what last night I haven't been watching the Olympics per se, but dinner last night they had the judo on, right? And I was just thinking, nice. How cool would it be to have like an Olympic event? You can use karate, you can use judo, you know, just plain old street fighting, but you only get a point if you give a knee to your opponent's crotch.
I'd watch it if that were the case.
It doesn't matter what the style is, but yeah, it's you can punch the guy in the face, no point. You've got to knee them in the crotch.
Yeah, the only way you could win. No, I'd absolutely watch that. That would be kind of like I mean, in effect, you'd be making Jackass an Olympic event.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I would just say
it would very much.
Then all the interviews after, you know, like all the competitors would have like Michael Jackson voices because they've just been like kneed in the crotch so much. You know, even the winners, right? Because you got to practice and all that. So
yeah. What was your strategy? Well, I thought I'd knee him in the crotch, but he kneed me in the crotch. We all need each other, don't we?
Yeah, that'd be cool. That's why I went for my Olympics.
Absolutely. I mean, you gotta bring something. You gotta have it. You know, you're competing now with other television. Yeah. All these streaming things. You're like, you know, the crotch Olympics.
That's okay. Of course modified from my my dick puncher game. It's like Street Fighter 2, but every move is all combos and everything are at the opponent's crotch, and there's no blocking.
I believe you've described this to me before, and I still find it to be genius.
Yeah. It's too bad I'm not a programmer or something, but hey, maybe someone is listening as a programmer can make that happen.
Yeah, his first name's Dick, his last name's Puncher. You know.
2. We go straight to the second one just to, screw the first one.
Dick Puncher 2, the dickening.
Yeah. There we go. They're making gold here, spinning golden webs.
Yeah.
Have a quick look at notes. There's some notes I don't even know why I wrote it. I mean, I should finish by.
They get a little weird toward the end. The notes. I didn't have very many. I just mainly wanted to remember what the movie was about.
See, I wrote you can make a phone number from eat shit, which you can. So
yes, I love that.
That'd be a nice phone number to have. Lord can't have my damn soul. We'll give it to Streisand. I don't remember why I wrote that.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah. I just had this vision, man, and a vision of Otto Preminger. That's the only person they name check in here, so that was kind of weird.
No, I thought when she was praying, at the beginning, she did a couple of other ones.
Oh, maybe that's when I wrote down Streisand, I guess.
Yeah, there was okay. Because I mean, they are film students, and so I mean, if I was going to recommend this to someone, it might be film students because, not necessarily something that they watch and go like, oh, amazing. But it's just funny to see people be given an assignment in a film class to make a movie, and they just make this big anti-movie. I actually found it pretty creative.
Anti-film. So I guess we'll label it an anti-film. And
well, yeah, because I mean, there's no 3-act structure. There's no real plot. There's no real character development. There's no scenes are, have no real consequence from each of them, and it's
lacking coherence.
But
still fun.
Yeah. Well, so
they use the whole. I mean, it's not like a reveal. There's like it's all a dream, right? So
and then she turns upside down for the ending.
Yeah,
and you're just like, but is she screaming because she's happy, or is she screaming because she sat on her keys and her keys began to attack her?
That must be it. Zombie keys.
I mean, that's the only logical explanation.
They came out of one of the pockets of one of the dudes in the zombie window.
Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna go with that because to me that seems like super rational and super possible.
Yes. You have films.
I do. Somebody want to look up Gonzoriffic, Gonzoriffic on YouTube. We have many short films, some of which would be described as experimental. There's been a resurgence of views on our movie Bleeding Candy. So that's one I recommend. But to get all the new stuff, you can buy Areola Jones and the Home Video Vixens, Gonzoriffic.com. We'll also be appearing in public twice this year. First will be at the punk rock flea market at the Classic Center in Athens, Georgia, on this coming well, I don't know when this will be out, but it happened on July 31st and August 1st.
No, it just happened.
Yeah, okay. And then there's also going to be our yearly screening, our 20th anniversary show. We at Athens Cine on November 12th and 13th, 2021.
All right. So is it hard candy with like a blood filling?
No. There's a piñata involved, a monster piñata.
All right.
Attempts to ruin a kid's party, but there's some swift justice applied to that guy's noggin. You'll see.
Okay. This is Aural Hygiene. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. You're listening to podcasts now, so you know about that at least. That's cool. You can also check out Matt and Luke's Sci-Fi Sanctuary, also Twitter, Facebook, MLSFS Pod at Twitter, Facebook, whatever. So, yeah, I think I said what I meant to say there. There's only one thing to say now.
That's quacktastic.
Oh,
what they should have done at the beginning.